Hey guys, I am Kenny from Upscale Lures, and on March 3rd, 2019, my company turned 3 years old, and today I want to tell you guys about the history, about my company, and show you guys the evolution of our baits. Let's get started. We are going to start out with the first lure that I came out with. This would be the Upscale Bucktail, and this was actually the first video that I have on YouTube. Which was my first video I ever made, and that thing probably took like 3 months to put together because I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, the thought behind this was that I wanted to create something different and better. That's what I was going for. And you know, with my experience of using other bucktails, I was just so sick of the blades and all the paint chipping off, and I'm like, there's got to be a better solution for this, you know. So I searched up and down, you know, all around Google, you know, YouTube videos, anything where I could get some information, and I stumbled upon powder coating. And yeah, once I started trying this stuff out, I'm like, man, it is insanely durable. Like, you know, I was smacking this stuff on rocks and bridges, and this paint just would not come off. It is a different way of because you're not really spraying it on. It is an actual powder that you electrically charge basically, and you spray it onto the parts, and then after they are sprayed, you have to put them in an oven so the powder basically bakes right on there, and it is like I was saying, it is insanely durable, just amazing stuff, and I think it looks really good. And it is definitely a time-consuming process, especially with the glitter. You have to do a two-part process, or it's a two-coat process, where you spray, like you'd spray on the black, you'd put it into the oven for a little bit, just until it basically melts. You bring it back out, you put the second coat on, and that's where you get the glitter from it. So yeah, definitely some time-consuming stuff there, but I think the results can speak for themselves. It definitely looks pretty dang good. And you know, the one thing I did want on my lures, they had to be some really good hooks. So, you know, I was testing everything out, and I ended up sticking with Gamakatsu hooks. Those things are they're insanely sharp, and just by far, by anything I've ever tested out. I think owner hooks are also pretty good, but just went with the Gamakatsus, and just fantastic with the results. You know, I've used other hooks, and you know that, you know, they're just not the same quality. You know, they're not the same standard. So yeah, went with, you know, the best paint I could find for the durability. Went with the best hooks that I could find. And as for the skirt, I was using a different skirt for a while, and I found it faded horribly. Like if it was, you know, out in the sun, or, you know, say if it was left in your boat, you forgot it in your boat, this stuff it would completely fade, and it was horrible. So again, you know, I was looking, you know, all over. I'm like, there's got to be a better option, and I stumbled upon this stuff. It is 100% silicone skirt, and it is fantastic. Like the color, you know, stays. It is fade resistance. It's stretchable. It's strong. It has like this glitter that is on the skirt itself, and I have like no complaints with that. So by putting that all together, that would be the first lure that I came out with, which is the Upscale Bucktail. I wanted to come out with a lure that you could throw on basically a regular fishing rod. You know, like the Upscale Bucktail I was showing you guys is a little bit big. You probably need a decent size setup for that. So I designed something that still had that, like the bucktail qualities, but more in a smaller package. And I think I really achieved that with the Nifty 50. So you got like, you know, just one smaller size blade. This is the size 7 blade versus the Upscale Bucktail has the size 8. And this thing just, it came together. It came together. So you can easily throw this on like a regular bass rod. Obviously, it still is a bit heavy, but nowhere near for the full size bucktail. And I had fantastic luck with this thing. Everything from smallmouth, largemouth, pike would absolutely love this thing, muskie. And the you know, the one thing that really stood out, that we used these on Lake Michigan trolling, and we were catching trout with these. I've caught rainbow trout and brown trout on these things, and they were smashing them pretty good. I was very surprised, you know, that we had that amount of luck with that. I don't think there's too many people that use like big spinners for the trout, and you know, it really did produce. I will cut to a couple of those pictures. I'll show you guys. It worked really good. I would have to say the main target species for the Nifty 50 was pike. You know, definitely caught some good sized bass with this thing. But we got some pretty big, we have some pretty big pike around here. So I kind of concentrated on that for the design of this particular lure. And what I noticed about the pike, and you know, bass would do that too, muskie, they would kind of come up and they would like nip your lure. They would kind of test it out, you know. Maybe you guys experienced this where, you know, you see them kind of, you know, they'll bump it with their mouth. They're not even grabbing it, but they're just kind of testing it out and nipping at it. So I'm like, well, there's got to be a solution to that, you know, like they're testing it out, they're trying it, they're seeing what's going on. So the solution to that, so what I did, it might be hard with this camera angle. Here, maybe this will work. I'll show you guys another Nifty 50. As you guys can see here, it extends past the skirt. So when you get those sharp bites, when they're just playing with it, when they're just checking it out, there's still a good chance that they're gonna get a hook. So I thought that was you know, pretty good idea, and I would have to say that definitely helped on the increasing the hookup ratio. So for the Nifty 50, it has all the same components as like the Upscale Bucktail, as in you still have the powder coating, which is super durable. You have the same kind of skirt, and you still have the Gamakatsu hooks. Obviously, these are a little bit smaller, but they work fantastic. They work really well. A lot of people were like, man, that is still a big spinner for bass or whatever, but it produced. Like I was catching smallies on this, you know, which are, you know, majority they're smaller than largemouth bass, and yeah, just did amazing with it. You know, from the smallies, did some really, you know, did good with the bass. I'll play some clips here. And like I was saying before, just amazing that I was catching trout with this, you know, just trolling these on Lake Michigan, you know, within the harbors, and they were smashing these. So yeah, overall, fantastic, amazing lure. Has to be probably one of my favorite spinners that I've made, and just works great. And the next spinner, which is actually the smallest spinner that I make, it is the Bignormous spinner. Big name, little package, but this thing delivers. This thing has done fantastic. I keep saying fantastic. This thing has done amazing with the smallies, the bass. There's like something to this lure, like they're just drawn to it. I don't know. I just like this lure. It's easy to cast. It has like a good solid thump to it, and the most luck, like I've had fantastic luck with this thing on northern pike. They just eat this thing up. I'll show you guys some clips again from the Mississippi, and they were just smashing this thing. I was up there fishing with my dad, and I forgot exactly what he was fishing with, but I'll tell you, it wasn't one of these. He was trying some other stuff, and I was like blowing him out of the water. It was unbelievable. Like the whole weekend, I was slaying these fish. I could leave the links for them videos. It was unbelievable. Just the quality of the pike that I got that weekend was amazing. It was amazing. So I'll definitely show you guys some of the footage of that. Same skirt, it's got the powder coated blades and the body, the beads, the eyelets, so this does not, it does not come off. Like it is so durable. You could smack it on a bridge and the paint stays right on there. Like you are gonna smush the metal before this paint comes off. And of course, I got the good old extremely sharp Gamakatsu hooks, and this lure, it just came together so well, just in a fantastic, small, compact package. And just, it catches everything. It catches everything. And I forgot about this. Just remember this. I caught catfish on this thing. I don't know what was going on. It was in the Fox River in Wisconsin, and just started catching catfish. I don't know if it was a certain time of year, but they were hitting this thing pretty good. So definitely quite the variety of fish catches, and just high quality of fish for this particular lure, the Bignormous spinner. One more thing about the Bignormous spinner, I almost forgot. The first trip I took down to Florida, we went to St. Augustine, and I happened to I was going to say stumble upon, I keep saying the same words here. I just found this pond in St. Augustine, and I started catching snook. I was going to say snook again, chinook. Every time. Snook. I caught, it had to be close to 10 snook I caught on the Bignormous spinner. Actually, I did catch a few on the NIFTY 52, but I did stick with the Bignormous. I would sink, it was just so hot, you could only fish in the morning. But so I sunk the Bignormous down to the bottom, and then just a nice slow retrieve, and they were picking them up just one by one. And yeah, it was just amazing. They were slaying the Bignormous spinner. So I almost forgot about that. I also got snook on these things. I don't know what it was, but they were just picking them up. Assuming not too many people fish for snook with inline spinners. What else do you use? Probably like stick baits, hard baits, and stuff. But it did a great job with the snook, and I was pretty excited about that. That was an amazing time down there. You guys may or may not know about me and Brendan Miller. I will link his channel below. We worked together on his signature series SWIMBAIT. We worked on it last year. We probably did, let's say, 3 or 4 different different prototypes until we got exactly what we were looking for, and this thing turned out really well. I love just the action of the tail. I think it really turned out really good. We released it last year. It was in July, which it was like a week after iCast, and I think it was about a week after Guggen Squad, or the Guggen baits came out. So I know we had a few comments like, "Oh, you guys are copying the Guggen baits." Well, that's not really how, that's not even really possible, because we were working on this, months and months before we obviously we released this. There was a ton of research and development that went into this, making different iteration and different tweaking this and tweaking that, making different molds. To have Brendan Miller, test it out, see what worked, see what didn't work. And yeah, so that wasn't, obviously that couldn't have really happened. Just so happened that basically we released this a week after they came out with their baits. So I suppose, you know, people could see it that way. But if you look at it, the process, the long and tedious process of you know, coming out with a you know, a new lure, it's you know, it took months and hours upon hours of time and effort to put everything together, you know, from down to you know, Brendan Miller's name right in the lure, to, you know, to the packaging, you know, what packaging to use, designing the labeling. And if you guys haven't noticed, I'll also show you guys this. I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up on camera too. On top of, you know, Brendan Miller's name is in here on the side, which I like that it's not, it does not, how could you say it? It's not like in your face. You know, when you're fishing with it, you know, you don't really see it, but, you know, maybe when you're putting on your lure and you get like a little flash, you're like, oh, hey, Brendan Miller. So I think that's really cool. And then on the other side, right by the tail, I'm gonna look at the camera here, if you guys can see that. And we have the Upscale logo right by the tail there. So yeah, nice little touch. And the next thing I want to tell you guys about this is that I did add some actual, it is lemongrass oil to the base of our to the scent. So we have our SWIMBAIT scent, and then we add a lemongrass oil to it, and this stuff, it just smells absolutely amazing. Obviously you guys can't smell this, but it smells so good. Does it help catch more fish? I can't say it doesn't, but it is one thing I can tell you is that I don't think anybody else is doing this. So this is definitely very unique. And as soon as you open that bait, you're gonna know there is something different about these baits. The lemongrass with the SWIMBAIT scent, whew, it smells really good. And then with the gold clove, one, get this open. Not like you guys can smell it or anything. Yeah, that is really good. Along with this one, it has the SWIMBAIT scent, and then we added the clove oil to it. So very unique combination of scent, and yeah, it just smells really good. So definitely something unique that I have not seen anywhere else. Very cool experience to work with Brendan Miller on creating his signature series SWIMBAIT. We just had so much time and effort put into this thing, different prototypes and molds, down to the packaging, the labels, with having Brendan Miller in the side of the lure. It just all came together. Plus just the, you know, the quality of the bait itself. You know, I've caught some tanks with this thing. The first bass I caught, it was, man, that thing, it was some quality fish. It seemed like it really, I'll show you guys some clips.
First bass on the SWIMBAIT. That is freaking amazing.
So overall, just a very, well crafted lure. You know, that it just works. It plainly just works. And on top of that, you get something very unique with the different kinds of scents. So yeah, just turned out awesome. And hopefully we can work with Brendan Miller again and make some new baits. After you make that many dang lures, you start learning how, you know, how things work, and you little by little you're gonna make a better lure. And not saying by any means that this is a perfect lure. Obviously I want to progress and make better lures, but this thing did turn out pretty good. The LIPLESS crankbait, and it is the 3D printed lure. This would be the first one that I put out. With this lure, you know, it's not just about the LIPLESS crankbait. There's like such a story behind this. And you guys definitely make sure to check out the video. I showed you all the avalanche of the lipless crankbaits. That you can see the whole process over a 2-year period, how this lure came to be. You know, I go from resin, you know, pouring resin baits to different kind of resin and just different styles. Well, actually I started with wood blanks. I started with, and then basically, you know, I came to 3D printing, and I think I would have to say that blows everything else out of the water. And just not only did you know, not only am I proud of this lure, I'm just happy of the journey that I went on that led me to 3D printing, which I think is just an amazing, can you say technology? I don't know how else you want to say it, but it is unbelievable that, you know, you can you know, come out with a design. I can come out with any design of lure. I can put that online on Thingiverse or whatever it may be, and you guys can 3D print this anywhere in the world. That blows my mind, and I think that is just an amazing way to share your creativity, I guess you could say. Like, I can design something, put it online, and you guys can print it off. And the cool thing is you can you know, say if I'm selling these lures, actually most of them right now of my 3D printed lures, the STL files are free. That, you know, just say if you get it for free, or, you know, you purchase it once, you can print it 20 times, 50 times, and you know, if you lose it, you print it again. So right after I released the lipless crankbait, the 3D printed lipless crankbait, we went down to Florida. That was actually for my 30th birthday. And the fishing was a bit tough down there, but I did end up catching a redfish. First time catching that. It was a new species for me, and I caught it on this lipless crankbait. But with the previous iterations of this lipless crankbait, I've caught definitely some pike, some walleye. Actually, a pike was the first fish I've caught with it, with the first version of this lure. Caught some very nice bass.
That is awesome. Alright guys, just caught a dandy on on the prototype crankbait there. That'd be the biggest one of the day, huh? No. Look at that thing. Yeah, baby.
And I've caught some walleye with it too.
Woo! Get that cooler open.
So yeah, quite the versatile bait. You know, that's one thing I like about the lipless crankbaits. You know, you can vary the depth with these things, and they're just they're an all-around good lure that can catch just quite the amount of species of fish. So that's one of the reasons, probably the main reasons, I've started out with the 3D printing with the lipless crankbaits, because, you know, the versatility is quite amazing. There it is, the 3D printed lipless crankbait. Well, hopefully you guys ain't getting bored yet. I have a feeling this is going to be a longer video. All right, so next we move on to the adjustable crankbait. So I don't know if you guys can notice what's different about it, but there's two, I keep calling them bolts, but they are screws that I put in the bottom of this. And this is definitely something very unique that I have never seen before. If you guys seen anything similar, please let me know in the comments. I would love to take a look. The idea behind this lure was to have an adjustable weight lure. And I'm like, well, how in the hell can I do that? You know, that's gonna, you know, work consistently. And I found this to be the best way so far, which I put these screws in here, which they kind of make their own threads, you know, so you 3D print this out so you guys can make this exact same lure at home. If you have a 3D printer, print it up. And I have a list of all the materials you need. And I do have an assembly video too, so you know how to make it. So you have these two bolts in here. When you have no weight in it, when there's no BBs in here, that's the main source of weight I use. Make sure I'm recording, yep. And when you have no weight in here, this thing is a surface bait. It will stay right on top. I could play some video. It'll stay right on top, and that thing is making its wake, you know, and I haven't fished with this a ton, so I can't, you know, I can't say a lot about what it catches. Obviously, it's quite similar to my original design, which it is, but it just don't have the bolts. So I would have to assume it's going to produce the same, but we will have to test that out this summer. And I suppose this would be a good time to mention I am looking for some pro staff this year. If you guys are interested in testing out my baits, and if you're, you know, if you're on, a big plus would if you have a YouTube channel that, you know, you could basically test out my lures and, you know, obviously throw up some videos. That'd be fantastic. You know, Instagram, all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in becoming a pro staff, make sure to, you can leave a comment below or just throw me an email at upscalelures@yahoo.com. You can have a lure that, you know, literally is depth adjustable. So, you know, if you have your adjustable lipless crankbaits and, you know, you're fishing in 4 or 5 feet of water and you got some weeds, you want it higher up, you'll pop that open, take the BBs out, screw it back in. Now you got like a surface bait. And then you find out the fish ain't biting there, so you move into some deeper water. Open that up, put the BBs right in, and you have yourself a regular diving lipless crankbait. So really, really unique design. Very happy with this. I'm looking to kind of expand on it. You know, we'll see here. We'll see here. I definitely have some more ideas for this thing, but that would be the brief explanation of the 3D printed adjustable lipless crankbait. And I keep forgetting to mention that these are all made out of PLA plastic, which I'm reading some of this stuff off Wikipedia, that it is some of these words I cannot even say. It is derived from a renewable resource such as cornstarch or sugar cane. In 2010, this is a few years back now, PLA had the second highest consumption volume of any bioplastic of the world. So yeah, quite interesting. So it is PLA plastic, which is biodegradable, which I think is absolutely amazing for the fact that, you know, all these lures that, you know, if these start getting more and more popular, that, you know, obviously they're going to end up in the lakes and rivers. That just, you know, naturally it's bound to happen. But just knowing that this stuff is biodegradable, I love the fact that you know, you're not, you know, you're moving in a step in the right direction by polluting the waters less and less. Obviously, it's not a one-all solution, but you know, it's a small step in the right direction. And yeah, I just really like the fact that I can say that my lures that are printed out of PLA are biodegradable. So now we are moving on to the ice crank. I just designed this at the end of 2018. So I haven't fished with these a ton, but they do work pretty well. And they have like the little tail on there, which gives it the nice darting action. These are for ice fishing. I will point that out. And you know, when you're jigging them, they'll just kind of like doop. They'll have like a very erratic action there, and it works pretty good. It works pretty good. I did have a bigger version of this, and I'm like, man, it just has to be a little bit smaller for, you know, for the panfish that I'm going after. The main species I would have to say would be perch for these things. But I think I did have some bluegills kind of checking it out and stuff. Like I said, I haven't fished with it a ton, but I did catch some nice perch on this thing. And I was fishing this thing at night, and I did end up getting a bullhead. Was not expecting that. You can tip the back end with a minnow, or I'll put a plastic on there, or a waxy. You know, you just load these things up, and yeah, it works pretty good. And if you guys haven't noticed, here, I'll show you guys a different one here. I did take out, there's no eyelet on top, so you actually just throw your line right there for the tie-on, and you know that works pretty good. So that's like, you know, what I'm looking for when I make a 3D printed lure is how can I guess subtract things, you know, to make it easier, you know, to fish with. And I think this is one of those things, you know, instead of having an eyelet there, you don't need it. You tie it right on to the lure itself. And that's one of the added benefits of 3D printing, just the versatility of how you can make a you know, a lure. I know I'm rambling on here, but just the limits of 3D printing is just amazing what you can do with this thing. And as you can see, I do have an eyelet on the bottom. So the purpose of that is to lock in this treble hook. I was trying to think of a good way to do that, but that would be the best way I found so far, and it locks it right in there nice and tight. What you can do with that, you can put a split ring, and you could add another treble hook on there, which I haven't done it because I'm usually, you know, kind of smashing this on the bottom, and that seems to work really good to get the fish's attention. If you do have a treble hook, you're going to be, you know, picking up a bunch of crap off the bottom. So I avoided that for now. But, you know, if you're fishing deeper water and you're not hitting the bottom, you know, that's where you could add another treble hook. And another thing with 3D printing, I can just go on and on about it, is that you can use different filaments. And this gold one is actually glow in the dark. It does take quite a bit of light, but it does glow in the dark. That's actually when I caught that bullhead. I was charging this thing up, and that might have helped. And then they also overall they call these like exotic filaments, where you have like the glow in the dark one, and then you also have the UV changing plastic, which I'll throw these outside for the second, and I'll show you guys how these will change. This is going to be quite interesting to fish with. That obviously you're outside, and while you're outside, these are going to be changing colors, and depending on the depth you're fishing, not only the ice cranks, but definitely on the lipless crankbaits, that you can print these with the UV filament, that, you know, when you are fishing these at different depths, you are going to have different levels of how bright or dark they are, because it is pretty sensitive. Like if you're fishing this is definitely going to be darker, and then this will be lighter, which is kind of like a natural fish. If you take a look, you know, you got the white body and then the darker top, so it mimics the color profile of a bait fish. So that's absolutely amazing. So all right, I'll throw these outside and I'll be right back. Here you go, guys. All right, had them outside, and as you can see, it is pretty sensitive. Where they did not have sun, they did not change. They did a little bit, but obviously definitely more on this side. I do have different colors. You know, there's like a blue, purple. I think there's a red. Definitely have to see what else is out there. It's just very, very unique and very different. I think it'll provide just a cool fishing experience that you can have, you know, a color changing lure, you know, not only on the ice crank, but also on the lipless crankbaits. As you guys can see, the color is slowly changing back without the UV sun. So yeah, overall, the ice crankbait definitely produced some lures. It definitely produced some fish this year. We're just gonna have to do, you know, some, you know, more testing with it. You know, maybe I'll do some modifications with it. We'll see. But yeah, we'll wait until, you know, next ice season, and we'll do some more testing, and maybe we'll throw some upgrades at it. We're gonna move on to the Upscale Upsider. I'm not gonna be able to fit this in the whole frame here, but we'll try. If you guys are in the Midwest, or if you guys fish on frozen water, you guys will know that the automatic fisherman jawjacker have got quite popular over the past few years. I guess a while now. Definitely used around here a lot for trout in the harbors of Lake Michigan, and they do work very well, especially with the trout, because, you know, they'll barely tap the bait, and then they'll let go of it. And then, but with this, you know, if they hit it, you got that automatic hook set where it's gonna, you know, you're gonna have the rod set up in here, and then they hit it, and then it's gonna set it off so it, you know, drives that hook home. So what I wanted to do is create a 3D printed one. Obviously the whole thing's not 3D printed, but if you guys look at the price tag of the automatic fisherman and the jawjacker, you know, you're looking from 60 to like 80 bucks. You know, I'm like, you know what, I could do a little better than that. I could do a little better than that. So I put this all together, you know, designed all the 3D printed parts. You got some of the tubing and then some metal framing, which some sturdy stuff here. To put this all together, you guys can make this yourself. I have all the links, all the STL files are free, and you can make this for about $7. I mean, it's definitely under $10. You can put these together, and it is just, if you guys have not fished like this in this way, it is just absolute blast. Where versus, you know, if you use the regular tip-up style, you know, you're hand lining it, which, you know, that's kind of the traditional way that we would ice fish along with jigging too. But when you put the fishing rod that's involved, you know, with this setup, it's just really cool that you get to, you know, fight that pike or, you know, bass, perch, whatever it may be. And it works really good. It does you know, does help set that hook. It is really fun to fish with. If you haven't done it before, definitely try it out. And I do like to point out too that I think it is pretty compact. You know, everything kind of folds up, so it's gonna fit, you know, in your bucket or on your sled. And it also is adjustable. I'll show you guys this. So you got the screw right here, and you got the frame, and it comes out right here too. So depending on the size of the fishing rod you're using, this can be slid up or down to fit the right length to, you know, so you're not bending your rod too much, or if, you know, if it's too short or whatever, you can just slide it up or down, however you may need to do it. So yeah, overall, just you know, a compact, very affordable way to you know, use this type of you know, fishing method for ice fishing. You know, like I said, definitely under $10. So you could either 3D print these yourself, or I do have these for sale on my website too if you guys don't have a 3D printer. So yeah, very cool. Definitely worth trying out if you guys do ice fish. Went a little different way with this one. It is a lipless crankbait fishing lure pen holder. Just got this idea when I was actually working on the Upscale upsetter, and I just had so much stuff on the table, just, you know, just crap everywhere, very unorganized, and I'm like, you know what, I need to fix this. So this is where the pen holder came into play, and I think it turned out, you know, just really neat. Looks really cool, and this is actually the low poly version, where it has like more of the facets and stuff, which is pretty slick. Pretty cool. And yeah, like I said, you guys can 3D print this up. There's multiple versions where it's not, you don't have the facets, you know, just kind of the regular rounded eye and everything. And yeah, it fits everything from, you know, you got your highlighters to bigger Sharpies, and you got more pens and pencils in the back, and obviously, you know, these right here could be interchanged and stuff. So yeah, just something almost used every day. I mean, come on, look at that. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? What's the last time you've seen a fishing lure pen holder? Because I don't think I've ever seen one, and it works pretty well. So yeah, give it a try. Print a couple up, maybe give a couple to your friend or something, or you know, freshen up your office space or man cave, whatever it may be. You can get the STL files for free, or if you don't have a 3D printer, I also do have these for sale on my website. Here we go. The latest 3D print design that I have is the line and bobber lamp. If you haven't seen the video, make sure to check it out. You'll get definitely some better views of this thing. You can see this thing in action, but I'll give you give you a quick rundown. So you got like the bottom parts, and then we use a 5-watt LED light, which you're gonna wanna use because they do not heat up. And the PLA plastic, it does, I will point out, it does melt at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you know, if you were to leave this in a hot car, that, you know, that includes any of the lures, they do start to soften. So that is, I would have to say, the one and only downfall that I can think of, that it does have a low melting point. So stick with the LED bulbs, you know, low heat. But man, when you put this thing in the dark, when it gets dark and you turn this thing on, it looks amazing. Like, just the contrast of the red and white, this thing really pops. Just very cool, very unique thing. Again, you know, it's just something that I've never seen before. So, you know, this is just, you know, could be perfect for your man cave, or you know, a bar or something, or, you know, just something you put on your end table, you know, and it looks really cool. It could be, you know, kind of you know, maybe a night light kind of thing. As you guys can see, I did also leave this open here. I am working on, or I guess you could say I thought of a design, you know, where you could hang these up. You know, you hang them up and then you have lights coming down. So you could either have it as, you know, like a tabletop lamp, or you could turn it into like a hanging lamp. So you got, you know, multiple options, you know, with this, which I think is cool. You know, you got multiple purposes for this thing. You guys need to check it out for yourself. That's what I'm gonna say. Either make one for yourself, right? Again, I do have these for sale. Yeah, check out the other video, and you guys will see how this works once the lights go out. And on top of that, one more thing I'll let you guys know about this thing is, I think this is a great way to light up your fishing mounts. If you have any fishing mounts, replicas, whatever, that's where, you know, where you have it hanging. You can have it hanging above your you know, your fish mount, and at night where it lights up, and, you know, the profile of that thing looks amazing. It looks amazing. So very cool. You got a lot of options with this thing. Definitely try this thing out. This is what my company has created over the past 3 years. It has been quite the journey, and you know, obviously it has its ups and downs, but I love every moment of it. Just the learning process, and just, you know, making things better and unique is, you know, it's what this company is all about. So hopefully, you know, you guys are, you know, are along for the journey. You know, I plan on coming out with, you know, more videos, more designs. I really think this 3D printing stuff is going places. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think there's so much more room, you know, for expanding on this. Just, you know, just think over time. You know, think where 3D printed is now. Think where it will be in 5 years. How they will progress with the quality of it. And I think just the new possibilities of the different kinds of designs that you're gonna be able to make with 3D printed lures, it is gonna be just, it's gonna be amazing. It is gonna be amazing. So definitely stay tuned. I really appreciate you guys, you know, watching these videos, and, you know, just supporting my company. Practice makes better, and that's what I want to continue to do. You know, just keep practicing. I would love to hear your guys' input about this stuff. You know, if you have any questions or comments, that would be fantastic. If there's certain kinds of lures you want me to work on next, you know, obviously summer's right around the corner, and people will be getting back out on the water. So definitely want to, you know, just work on some new designs, and you know, just I want to make the best of the time out on the water. When you guys are on the water, make the best of that time, you know, and that's with, you know, the best lures possible. And, you know, definitely unique lures. I'm all about that too. Something different and unique, something that nobody else is trying, whether it's a special scented oil that I'll be putting on Brendan Miller's swim baits, to the super insanely durable powder coated blades that I have, to a pen holder, to a 3D printed biodegradable lipless crankbait that is adjustable. That's adjustable. It can go from a surface bait to a regular diving bait. That is exactly what I'm all about. Improving stuff, making stuff better, and just creating a better fishing experience for you guys. So I think that wraps it about up. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for being part of my company, Upscale Lures. I really appreciate all the support, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.